Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano. We've got some news to talk about tonight, guys. We have this apple juice thing that is getting way bigger, as we said it would. Looks like now it is affecting Aldi, the Nature's Nectar, right? The apple juice that I like, of course. We already know it's affected several of the Walmart, the 96-ounce containers, and the smaller, I think they're the 12-ounce plastic bottles. And now apparently it's affecting Walgreens apple juice, which I assume is the nice brand. We're going to get into that here in a minute. BJ's Wholesale and more recalled over arsenic levels. I assume it is the same in organic arsenic, okay, which is strange all in itself. But we're going to read a little bit from USA Today tonight just to kind of go over what this is all about, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So they go on to say more apple juice is being voluntarily recalled over arsenic levels. This new recall includes the Great Value apple juice brand sold at Walmart stores, which we've already went over, which was part of a previous voluntary recall and brand sold at several other stores like Aldi and Walgreens. A voluntary recall was initiated for 133,500 cases of products made by Refresco Beverages US Incorporated on August 26. If you guys remember, I was talking about how this may affect a lot of different apple juice brands, as Refresco is a huge company here. And then they go on to say what products are listed in the apple juice recall and where they are sold. We're going to go over these. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the products listed in the recall are Great Value 8-ounce. It was 8-ounce, not 12-ounce. 8-ounce apple juice in the 6-packs with a best if used by date December 26, 2024 and December 27th, 2024. We went over those. Those have been sold, which looks like the list is growing here, just like we said it would. Sold in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Maine, New York, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and Virginia. And the 96-ounce containers, which we know is fresh, right? Meaning this is new. If you guys remember, if you watch the channel a lot, I had actually gone to Walmart and witnessed that they had taken down all of the big jugs, the 96-ounce containers of Great Value apple juice, which usually the stores will hear about it first before we do, because they want time to get, everything off the shelves. So the best if used by dates for the 96 ounces is the same, December 26, 2024 and December 27, 2024. They also have December 28th, 2024 on that one, and those were sold in Indiana, Ohio, Maine, New York, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, and Virginia. Now, Market Basket 100% apple juice, 64 ounces. Market Basket is their list on here is the best if used by date of March 25th, 2025. So if you have the Market Basket, any of these, I'm going to be honest with you, any of these, I would hold off, especially if those dates are very close, because these have the tendency to grow, as we see right here. This list is getting enormous, and it is covering a lot of different apple juices. And the Market Basket was sold in Maine. Okay, so here they have the Nice brand, right, which is a Walgreens brand, and it's the Nice 100% apple juice, or the not so nice 100% apple juice. Now these are the 64-ounce containers, Walgreens, sold by Walgreens. Best if used by date March 25th, 2025. So a lot of these are, real close to the same dates. So even if you have some of these, it looks like it's affecting store brands too. Like, I'm not seeing Mott's, but who knows? Who knows? A lot of name brands have been affected in other, we've seen things with Quaker, we've seen things with Boar's Head, all these different things going on. So just err to the side of caution on everything, and make sure you're paying attention to these updates. And USA Today gets most of their information, if not all, from the FDA website. So you can check the FDA website if you just want to know the numbers of what's going on. And the nice brands from Walgreens were sold in Florida, Georgia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Now, Weiss, which I think all of us should have problems with Weiss going on here with the different cinnamon and all that stuff. If we remember a year ago, Schnucks, Weiss, and a handful of others, Wanabana, were part of this huge recall that sparked an eye opener for the different cinnamon products. Now, because of the start of the cinnamon applesauce packets that are targeted for children, right now we are finding, now after more research, people are finding that the cinnamon that has been in a lot of products, and ground cinnamon in general, a lot of it, not all of it, but because of the high levels of lead, anytime I see Weiss or Schnucks or Wanabana in anything, I'm always a little cautious. But Weiss 100% apple juice, 64-ounce containers. Now, this is sold by Weiss Markets, and their best if used by date is March 25th, 2025. And that's the thing, all these are, most, if not all, are coming from the Refresco company. So a lot of these dates are going to be the same. So if you see these dates on any of your products, I would just hold off, wait on that, because this continues to grow every day. That's why we're talking about it, because it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the Weiss brand was sold in Maryland and Pennsylvania, but it's probably bigger than that. I'm just going off of what we've seen in the past, but it's probably going to get bigger than that. Urban Meadow 100% apple juice, 64 ounces, by Brooklyn Fair. Okay, but it's the Urban Meadow apple juice, 64 ounces. Best if used by date March 26, 2025. So a day after some of the other ones, and this was only sold in Pennsylvania. A lot of these have been sold in Pennsylvania. Nature's Nectar, which is the Aldi apple juice, okay? Nature's Nectar, probably one of the most popular on here. In my opinion, it's probably the best apple juice. I love it. But yeah, gonna hold off on that for a while. 64-ounce containers, best if used by date March 26, 2025, and best if used by date March 27th, 2025. And those have been sold in Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and Wisconsin. A lot of the same states here. Ohio's been getting a lot too. I think Pennsylvania's been in every one of these. Except for this one, it looks. Wellesley Farms 100% apple juice, 96-ounce containers, sold at BJ's and Walmart. One of you guys mentioned this one the other day. And best if used by date March 26, 2025. This one was sold in Florida, Massachusetts, and New Jersey. The Solavita, it's just, I'm going over all these guys because I know everybody has their apple juice. Everybody loves their apple juice, and a lot of these, families sending their kids off to school with little packs of apple juice. We got to go over these things, stay ahead of the game, because this is not cool. It's like it just keeps happening every day. More recalls. And we have another recall that we're going to be going over here shortly that is almost the same exact time that it happened last year. Okay? We're going to go over that in a minute. You guys probably already know what I'm going to talk about. So the Solavita, or I hope I'm saying that right, Solevita, Solvita, 100% apple juice, 64 ounces, sold by Lidl. It says Liddy, but I think they mean little, like Lidl. They have Lidi, but I think it's little. You double check on that one, but it says Liddy US, so that might be a different company. I'm not sure. Pretty sure they mean like kind of the Aldi competition there. But anyway, so it's the Solvita 100% apple juice, 64 ounces. And the expiration on that is March 27th, 2025. And that one looks, as far as now, has only been sold in Virginia. Now, here's a big one that I think, and what's funny is that this one really wasn't mentioned. And I was like, for Refresco, Clover Valley, right? Clover Valley. Like, we see that in, Dollar General. I think there's some Clover Valley at Family Dollar. So one of them is not sold there anymore, but Clover Valley's a popular brand. 100% apple juice, 64 ounces, Dollar General. Yeah, Dollar General. Best if used by date of March 27, 2025. And those were sold in Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, New York, and South Carolina. And then they go on to talk about concerns of arsenic levels. We have gone over this before, but I will read this little part here, just in case you're new to the channel. Or, let's see, the federal agency said that the apple juice, quote, products contain inorganic arsenic above action levels set in guidance to industry. The FDA adds that, quote, current research indicates that inorganic arsenic is more dangerous than organic arsenic. And that's what everybody's been talking about on the channel too. Like, why is inorganic arsenic in conventional apple juice? Why? It's added? That don't make any sense. And that does raise, a lot of other questions. And hopefully there's a lot more research and we start figuring all this out. Refresco is the company. They need to be, I don't know, just like everything else we've seen with all the different things going around with listeria and salmonella, botulism in some things, like with the coffee cans and all that stuff. It's crazy, guys. It really is. But this is why we do this, so that we can keep in the know of all these things. So they go on to say the federal agency also says that long-term exposure in adults to inorganic arsenic has been affiliated with skin disorders, increased risk of skin, bladder, and lung cancers, and cardiovascular disease. Now, we've gone over all of that in the past, and we've done several videos on that, but now I want to go into the cantaloupe. The cantaloupe, which is returned with salmonella. The number, it's funny too. It's funny. You probably have the number memorized, right? The product code 4050. If you see a cantaloupe that says 4050 on it, step away. Don't even breathe that direction. Okay, so USA Today goes on to say, cantaloupe recalled for possible salmonella contamination. See which states are impacted. There's not much information on this. And I'm, in some ways, we know what's going to happen, right? We know it's going to get way bigger, right? Because it did last year, where it covered all 50 states and beyond. Canada, we saw where it was working its way to Guam, Puerto Rico. It was getting distributed. And these were distributed out of Mexico. So I'm just saying, don't know where from Mexico, just that's where they were coming from last year. So anyway, we're going to go on. We're going to read a little bit here. Cantaloupes sold in grocery stores in 5 states so far. 5 states so far are being recalled due to potential salmonella contamination, according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Eagle Produce LLC. Now this is this is out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Initiated a recall of 220. Well, this is where the recall was initiated. Okay, initiated a recall of 224 cases of whole cantaloupe. The FDA posted online Friday. Okay, now that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you remember last year, it wasn't a lot. It was a few, and then more, and more, and then tens of thousands, right? So we need to pay attention to this. I don't think I've bought fresh cantaloupe. I don't think I've bought any cantaloupe since all of this started. Let's see. The recall comes on the heels of salmonella outbreak last year, linked to cantaloupe that left at least half a dozen people perished and sickened hundreds across the U.S. and Canada. The CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, previously reported. Seems like it was a lot more than that. Those numbers seem a little low to me. The latest recall, not that it mattered. One is too many, though, right? The latest recall is the result of routine sample testing conducted by state health officials in Michigan, who found salmonella in some cantaloupe sold at various retail distributors. As of last week, no illnesses connected to the recall had been reported to the FDA. And then they have, let's see. Okay, the FDA said cantaloupe with the brand name Candy. Okay, so it's with a K. Kandy. Candy. distributed in 5 states between August 13th and August 17th, is included in this recall. Now, this was posted 2 days ago. Me and Jessica are here in Florida right now. Just surprised that we're just now finding out about this with all the testing and all that. So why are we finding out about this a month later? I mean, this was posted 2 days ago. I think, we found out about this a few days ago, but I don't know. I guess testing takes a month. The product has a UPC label of 4050. We should all have that memorized. 4050 on a red, black, and white sticker, and a lot code of 846468. 846468. Now, we have another recall quickly. We're not going to carry it on here, but I want to make sure that we are going over this as well because we have had some questions on this one. This was a few days ago. And I'm going to throw this out here right now too. USA Today did an article, and I recommend reading it. I'm not going to go over it right now because I don't want this video to be way too long for you guys. But they came out and said, and this was about a week ago, expect more illnesses in listeria outbreak tied to boar's head deli meat. We have been talking about this for the last month. With all of the cross-contamination, with everything going on with the boar's head meats and everything, different slicers, people may be unaware of some of these things, or they're working their tails off slicing meat for everybody, maybe not paying attention, the cleaning process. I don't know. But, we have to make sure that we're staying ahead of the game on that, because we had said that this was going to be something that was going to get a lot bigger, and sure enough it is. Okay, so we have an egg recall, and this was a few days ago. This was posted on September 7th by USA Today. Egg recall is linked to a salmonella. So salmonella is working its way back into the communities, just like it did this time last year. Egg recall is linked to a salmonella outbreak. CDC says, see which states are impacted. The CDC, they're talking about the recalled eggs are linked to a salmonella outbreak. The CDC and Food and Drug Administration are investigating across 9 states. 65 people were infected with salmonella linked to eggs supplied by Milo's Poultry Farms, LLC, or Milo, M-I-L-O, apostrophe S. Milo's Poultry Farms, LLC. The illnesses started from May 23rd to August 10th. Let me say that again. May 23rd through August 10th, according to the FDA alert issued Friday. 24 people have been hospitalized. No deaths, thank goodness, no deaths have been reported. Quote, the true number of sick people in this outbreak is likely much higher than the number reported, and the outbreak may not be limited to the states with known illnesses, end quote, the CDC says. Quote, this is because many people recover without medical care and are not tested for salmonella. In addition, recent illnesses may not yet be reported, as it usually takes 3 to 4 weeks to determine if a sick person is part of an outbreak, end quote. The CDC investigation broke down the demographics of the 65 cases reported for the egg recall. People who contracted salmonella were ages 2 to 88. 56% of the cases were female and 46% male. The race majority of the 65 cases were white, which accounted for 92%, followed by 5% African American or black, and 3% Asian. All these numbers kind of fudged in here of things that don't. So the egg recall, okay. Milo's Poultry Farm, I don't know where that's really relevant. I mean, I guess it could be if you're breaking down like who it's affecting more, I guess. Who bought the eggs, right? I don't know. Milo's Poultry Farm has voluntarily recalled all eggs supplied by its farm. The FDA said the recalled eggs were distributed to retailers and food service distributors in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Michigan. the alert said. That is what we wanted to know. Wisconsin, Illinois, and Michigan. USA Today has reached out to Wisconsin Department of Agricultural Trade and Consumer Protection, Wisconsin Department of Health Services, and Milo's Poultry Farms for comment. According to the CDC, the eggs were labeled with Milo's Poultry Farms or Tony's Fresh Market. Tony's Fresh Market said it was cooperating with the inquiry. Quote, the health and safety of our customers is our top priority. We are fully cooperating with the FDA on their investigation and have taken immediate action by removing all affected products related to this recall from our shelves, end quote, said Marissa Kutansky, a spokesperson for Heritage Grocers Group, owner of Tony's Fresh Market. Quote, we are monitoring this recall and will continue to do all we can to ensure our customers' safety. Guys, I'll tell you what, it's like I keep going through every one of these just to make sure that, everything is fine, or everything, about the recalls and everything. We want to keep up to date on them, basically. But guys, I'll tell you what, it's just crazy how this just keeps happening. It's like we're basically repeating the same thing we did last year. Have we not learned from the mistakes of last year? Now, I understand this happens. Accidents happen, but when the same accidents keep happening left and right, it's just crazy. But anyway, guys, just wanted to put this information out here for you guys tonight, so that we just got to stay in the know of things, guys. We got to make sure that we're paying attention to all these, because who knows what's next, right? But I continue to monitor these things as we are here in Florida, and I will continue to keep you guys updated as we go along. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.